Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. We have been seeing the Amar Chitra Kada, the book, the Bhagavat. In that, we are seeing all the Krishna's pastimes, the Krishna Leelas, as narrated by Shukadeva to Parikshit, who is none other than Abhimanyu's son and Arjuna's grandson. So we saw in the first story all the Leelas which Krishna performed in Gokula. Now they have all migrated to Vrindavan, or also known as Vrindavan. Now we are going to continue the Leelas in Vrindavan in story number 2. The title of this story is Krishna, the subduer of Kaliya. Kaliya is a serpent we are going to see. So there are many Leelas, and subduing the Kaliya is one of the stories or the main story in this part. So the story begins this way. Parikshit asking Shukadeva, "My dear Shukadeva, you told me that they all migrated to Vrindavan. You mean all the people of Gokul left the place together?" Yes, Shukadeva says, yes. All the elders of the clan, they thought it was wiser to leave Gokul. But Krishna, the beloved son of their leader, they had been involved in too many mishaps in Gokul. So they all felt they want to go to Vrindavan, and they all went to Vrindavan to settle there. They found Vrindavan to be a beautiful place. They found some lush surroundings, and the Mount Govardhan there loomed at a distance, and the river Yamuna with its grassy banks, it flowed gently past as they were coming along. So the new settlers, they first built sheds for the cattle. For the cattle, they built the sheds first, and then soon they settled down after building their own homes. Everything happened just like that. With Krishna's blessings, of course, right? Anything can happen. Nothing is impossible. Balarama and Krishna were delighted to be in this new Vrindavan. In their sweet voices, they would often praise their new place. So they want to explore the forest. They went to their parents and asked. Krishna asked Yashoda, "Mom, all the boys are going to graze the cows. May I also go to graze the cows?" Yashoda said, "Krishna, you are too small to go to the forest now." "But I want to go, Ma. Everybody is going." Okay. Nanda Baba called Krishna. All right. You and Balarama may take the calves to graze, but don't go too far, okay? Well, while the calves grazed their tender grass contentedly, the boys would be engrossed in games. So they played their flutes, they danced to the rhythm of their anklets, or they would pretend to be doing bullfighting. All these things they enjoyed the whole day in the forest, and they come back home at the end of the day. One day, Krishna and his friends were herding their cattle together along the banks of Yamuna. Suddenly, Krishna stopped to stare at something he had seen. "Balarama, did you see that? There is a black calf. Surely he is not one of ours." Balarama looked at it and said, "Yes, he looks a little odd, man. Let us approach him quietly from behind." So Krishna and Balarama, they approached the calf quietly from behind. In reality, it was a demon in disguise sent by Kamsa. Krishna stealthily approached the calf, and holding his the hind legs firmly in one hand, twirled him around. Then with a twist of his wrist, he threw the demon calf on the top of a wood apple tree. The demon regained his true form as he fell to his death, crushing a number of trees under his weight. So the calf took a huge Ashura form and fell down. Krishna's other companions became excited as they saw it. When they were little older, Krishna and Balarama were allowed to take the older cattle to the forest to graze. One day, when they were going out, they were taking the cows along the banks of Yamuna. They felt, let us drive the cows towards the lake. They must be thirsty now. When the cows had quenched their thirst, suddenly they saw a crane. Look there, there is a huge crane. While they were just looking, perched beside the water was a crane, strong and huge. It pounced on Krishna and picked him up in its short beak. Everyone was in shock. The creature swallowed Krishna in one gulp. Everyone was terrified and they all fainted from the shock. But as soon as Krishna reached down the mouth of the demon, the creature felt an unbearable heat inside the throat and quickly spewed out of his victim. He threw Krishna out, unable to bear the heat. The crane was none other than Bagasura, a friend of Kamsa. Enraged, he attacked Krishna with his sharp beak. Now Krishna sprang up, grabbed the creature, and playfully tore it apart. When they regained consciousness, all the Gopalas, when they regained consciousness, they were overjoyed to have their playmate back and hugged him affectionately. So they all said, let's go back, man. We had enough today. Gather the cattle. Now let's go back home. They hurried home to relate the incident to their parents. The Gopas and Gopikas, they all gathered together to hear the tale. And the Gopala said that Krishna tore the demon apart as if he were tearing up a tiny reed. So we were all relieved to see him safe. The elders were amazed. Once again, this boy has escaped from the jaws of death. Whoever is trying to harm this boy always come to harm himself. That's what one of the Gopikas said. Gargacharya was right. Nanda Baba was telling, Gargacharya was right. This boy is indeed great. He must be some avatar. Every day, Krishna and Balarama spent their days happily frolicking and playing with other cowherds. Early at dawn, they would leave their homes with their herd and spend the whole day sporting in the forest and fields, and they would adorn themselves with the wild flowers, fresh blossoms, and peacock feathers, or play a game of hide and seek, or play music on their flutes and pipes, or raise one another, or they would imitate the sounds of the forest, or imitate the birds' walk and dance. See, I am graceful as a swan. The other one would say, see, I am peacock. I see my dance. So with the monkeys on the jungle, they would scamper up the trees and leap from one branch to the other. One day, when the cowherds were playing their simple games, Aghasura, a dreadful demon, saw that. He looked at them. How happily they are playing here, as if they are just innocent children. But among them is that boy Krishna who killed my sister Putana and my brother Bagasura. Today, I will kill him and all his friends. Aghasura, who was strong enough to terrify even the Devas, assumed the form of an enormous serpent. So, like a huge mountain, he spread himself, keeping his cave-like mouth open. His lower lip rested on the earth, while the upper lip reached up to the clouds. like a red ribbon of a road, his tongue emerged from within. Like a red ribbon of a road, his tongue emerged from within. And his tongue looked like a red carpet. When the cowherd boys, they saw that the creature in their path, they were amazed. They were wondering, what is this? Huh? See this odd creature, it looks like a python waiting to swallow. Aha! See how the rays of the sun are turning the clouds pink. So they all look around. Innocently they said, and the shadow of these clouds, it also is red. That must be this lower lip. They did not understand what's going on here. Huh? See this long red-hued road. It looks like the tongue of a serpent, man. How hot the wind is. There must be a forest fire nearby. So they were all imagining various things by looking at this. Should we dare to enter this mouth, supposing he swallows us? If he dares to do so, our Krishna will slay him like he did Bagashura. Don't worry. It can't be a serpent. It must be a cave. So, each Gopala is telling his version. Unaware of the danger, the boys stepped inside the mouth of the demon, gleefully clapping their hands. Before Krishna's very eyes, the cowherds and their cattle had gone inside the Asura's mouth. How could they mistake this serpent as an illusion? That's what Krishna was thinking. How could they do it? I must go and save them now. Aghasura was waiting for Krishna to enter the mouth so that he would swallow all of them at one gulp. A moment later, Krishna too stepped in. Once he entered Aghasura's mouth, Krishna began to grow. He began to grow and grow and grow bigger. Now, at one stage, Aghasura could not breathe. His throat was choked, his eyeballs bulged out, and soon his enormous body became lifeless. Krishna, the cowherds, and the cattle, they all stepped out unscathed from the dead demon's mouth. After some time, the skin of Aghasura became stiff and dry, and it became a favorite place for the children to play. When Krishna and Balarama were 6, now Krishna and Balarama, they turned 6. They were allowed to go further from home into the deep forest with their cows. Right? They have reached that age. So the scented flowers, the sparkling waters of the beautiful lakes, the galloping deer, and the sweet sound of bird song in the forest of Vrindavan, they never failed to delight Krishna. One day, Krishna and Balarama were resting after play. Among their cowherd friends were Subala and Sridhama. They said, "You Balarama and Krishna, you are unequaled in strength. Do you know there is a dense forest nearby with several palm trees laden with fruit?" Sridhama said, But, in that forest there is a wicked Asura named Denuka. He is living there in the guise of a donkey. He does not allow anyone, neither man nor beast, to encroach upon that area. Despite the lure of the fruit, no one dares to go into that forest. But you must help, Krishna. You must help to get that fruit. With a laugh, Krishna and Balarama sprang up. Okay, let's go. Show us the way. Huh? Show us the way right now. So they all went to the forest. Balarama caught hold of those trees, one of those trees, and shook it vigorously, that as many fruits they fell down. When the Asura heard the noise of the fruits falling down, he came running towards them. With his hind legs, he gave a swift kick to Balarama. But when he tried to do so again, Balarama caught hold of his legs and twirled him around so fast then the Asura died. He flung the Denugashura up and he fell on top of those palm trees. With a loud noise, the tree came crashing to the ground, felling a number of other trees too. Krishna and Balarama returned home happily that day. From that day on, people of Vrindavan ventured fearlessly into that forest to eat the palm fruit and graze their cattle. Balarama and Krishna were usually inseparable. One day, however, Krishna went with his other friends to the banks of the Yamuna, leaving Balarama behind. Let us see what happens in the next part of the story. Narayana Narayana.